possible. So I also have an article that was sent in to me, a link by Rule 62A. I thank that person very much for that. I'm going to take a look at that here. It's about African asylum seekers in Israel that are heading to Canada. I also have a video that I've downloaded, and it's a cell phone video from the COMPLIED M103 meeting. That kind of shows the simple-mindedness of the Liberals and what we're up against. So I will start now with the article on African asylum seekers. Israel agrees to halt deportations of Canada-bound asylum seekers. Ottawa has reached a last-minute deal with Israel to suspend the deportation of asylum seekers who are currently waiting for resettlement to Canada. Israel is set to begin deporting some 37,000 asylum seekers, the majority of them Sudanese and Eritreans, in April, after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government issued them expulsion notices. The asylum seekers, most of them deemed by Israel to be economic migrants rather than refugees in need of protection, can either leave voluntarily for a safe African country and receive $3,500 and a plane ticket, or face imprisonment. The Canadian government is under the gun to resettle 1,845 of the African refugees whose sponsorship applications are currently in process, some for years. Canada does not support policies of mass deportations of asylum seekers. The rights of asylum seekers and refugees are laid out in the Geneva Convention on the Status of Refugees, of which Israel is a signatory, said Adam Austin, Press Secretary for Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland. As the country that resettles the highest number of African asylum seekers from Israel, we are in direct contact with the government of Israel to convey Canada's concerns about the situation. A spokesperson for Immigration Canada confirmed it has reached an agreement with Israeli authorities to allow the Canada-bound asylum seekers to remain in the country and not be jailed until their sponsorships are finalized. We ask that sponsors advise the department should any of their applicants be issued deportation or detention notices, said Faith St. John. Our office in Tel Aviv has dedicated resources to deal with the applications. Itali Tavor, a spokesperson for the Israeli embassy in Ottawa, said the country recognizes the significance of the current migration situation and has allocated dozens of new staff positions to streamline and expedite the asylum determination process. Israel does not hesitate to grant refugee status when required and follows a procedure consistent with the criteria and standards of the international law laid down by the Convention relating to the status of refugees, said Tabor in an email to the Toronto Star. With that said, the data about the migrants who have entered Israel illegally indicates that 70 to 80% of the migrants are of working age, 19 to 40 years old, and that there are about 5 times more men than women. These numbers are consistent with a population that is composed mostly of economic migrants. Jenny Medema of the Dufferin County's Compass Community Church, which is sponsoring 14 African refugees through Tel Aviv, said sending asylum seekers to third countries, namely Rwanda and Uganda, according to Israeli media reports, remains an issue of concern. They will be dropped off at a brand new country with a brand new language with no legal status, said Medema. These countries are no safe haven. By sending them there, it becomes somebody else's problem. I just want to interject here. Isn't Canada a brand new country with a brand new language too? Okay. Joanne Beach, Director of Justice and Compassion for the Christian and Missionary Alliance in Canada, which has a sponsorship agreement with Ottawa, said Canada must do its utmost to expedite the resettlement of refugees. The Alliance is still concerned for the welfare of those at risk of deportation in Israel who do not have applications currently in process. We are appealing to churches to consider entering into a sponsorship agreement or partnering with a Canadian Jewish organization to help those at imminent risk of deportation from Israel, said Beach. We pray that sufficient resources are put in place by Ottawa to reduce backlogs and processing times. Well, there we go again. Canada wants to save all the African economic migrants that are held up in Israel. Israel wants to deport them. Canada won't let them. They want to take them in. And now, a very short video shot by a cell phone, or on a cell phone, at ICRA Khalid's meeting in Toronto the other night, talking about M103. These people are not even on the same planet as us. Notice how they call this poor ex-Muslim speaking up a racist. So check this out.
I hope they vote all the liberals out. All the liberals, don't vote liberal. Vote conservative. Vote conservative, and things will change. Things will get better.
Racist out! Racist out! Racist out! Racist out! Racist out! Racist out!
She's here for a reason. Don't pander. Don't pander. Don't pander and laugh and smile and then say, you know what is wrong? You know what's wrong with you? I'm an ex-Muslim. I never met this man. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. The MP, answer the questions of the people. You're an MP. Answer the questions. You're a fraud. You're a fraud. You've been voted in by the Muslims.
Racist out!
Racists out!
The votes were fixed in your favor. You're paid by the Muslim Brotherhood. Your uncle's from the Muslim Brotherhood. Is that right? Are women equal in Islam?
Thank you for
Are women equal under Islam? You can't answer.
Thank you for
You can't answer. You're talking about equality. Ask if women are equal under Islam. No.
Thank you.
They're not. They're not, because it's coming. Islam is coming, and she's going to make proof of that. Laugh. Smile. Your kids are going to suffer.
Thank you
Not
for
mine.
all you are doing.
Not mine. Mine are going to be out of this country. Mine are going to be out of this country. Yeah, what are you looking at? Who are you? Nothing. Yeah, don't look at me.
If you plan on attending a demonstration or protest in your city and you haven't heard your city on the list, please leave it in the comments and I will get you on our list. So that's April 2nd at 12 noon. Thank you very much for watching. Like if you like,